Howdy, and welcome to the Lost Rider Podcast. It's an honor and a privilege to address you in the capacity of an interviewer, reporter, and media member. Too many modern media outlets have forgone the integrity and responsibility required of credible information sources. What you will receive here are straightforward discussions with legislators, agency leaders, biologists, engineers, doctors, and countless other experts that have the answers to questions often circulated as kitchen table issues. The title Lost Rider may be thought of literally as well as in the metaphorical sense. While there has been the instance that I was momentarily a little turned around at night in a wilderness area, the idea of being a lost rider in life, well, that fits most folks at some time. These renderings are coming to you in the form of the 25-year-old radio program, The News from the Camp House. It still airs every Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time on KULM 98.3 FM out of Columbus, Texas. The original intent was to relate outdoor topics to the general public. Immediately, it was found that all issues are relatable to the outdoors and that people are people. They all play a role and they all have a vested interest. It's this program's desire to answer common questions about how the world works, how it will operate in the future, and what's the holdup? So please listen, enjoy, and never hesitate to contact us with more questions and feedback. Good morning and welcome to this weekend's edition of News from the Camp House, the listening post of the Texas Sportsman Association. This is Herman Brune. This weekend's edition is also brought to us by the Shaw's Bend Social Club. Shaw's Bend Social Club is the country club for folks who don't have a country club. Tell you what, okay, got a special guest with us this morning. He's going to teach us a little bit more about how the world works. Scott Dorenkamp. Okay, it's a familiar name to me. I don't know if it's a familiar name to everybody else. Dorenkamp is an old pro rodeo name. And Scott is, well, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Scott, would you please tell my listeners a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your history, and what your job is at the PRCA?
You bet. I'm Scott Dorenkamp. I am the livestock program and government relations manager for the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association. I grew up in rodeo. I've never not known it. In my mid-50s, unfortunately now, but I hate being, I go to rodeos and I'm the oldest guy there now, it seems like, which is ridiculous. But no, I take care of all the animal rights, any animal rights stuff that comes up, PRCA, any government relations, which a lot of that is intertwined, fighting things like what's happening in LA, some stuff on the East Coast, and in Colorado, unfortunately.
All right, okay. Let me explain to my listeners. I'm down here in a rural part of Texas between Houston and San Antonio, a little closer to Houston, and this is more farm country.
Right.
And it's you got to go west and north of here to get into where you really get into a lot of rodeo people. We do have some rodeo folks around here. A bunch of those fast calf ropers come from over here in that Katy Hockley area. And so, we do have, we're not completely lost over here. And people are a little bit cognizant, but we're talking about the PRCA, we're talking about the top of the line, the National Association. And Scott, what do you call it? The Intergovernmental Affairs? Is that what you call your position?
Well, mine's, I deal with all the livestock, any livestock issues and the government affairs.
Okay.
Any kind of legislation that comes up that honestly affects agriculture of any kind. So anything to do with hunting, farming, rodeo, transportation, anything.
All right. Okay. All right, now this is kind of a side question. Have you ever worked with the U.S. Sportsman's Alliance?
I have not.
All right, I need to get you hooked up with those guys.
That I am aware of, I should say.
All right, I'll hook you up with those guys, because I mean that is their main function in this world, is keeping track of each state and all the legislation that passes through each state, and it'd just be a handy contact for you.
Absolutely.
So anyway, okay. Now let me get back to my listeners. All right, trying to put everything into perspective to relate to my listeners. So on a national scale, state to state, how in thunder do you keep up with that? If you got something goes sideways in New Hampshire or goes sideways in Washington State, or how do you keep up with 50 states that may pass, anti-agriculture, anti-rodeo, anti-hunting type legislation?
It seems daunting, and in some ways it is, but a lot of it is grassroots stuff. And I don't think everybody in America understands how many people they know, or people they know that know other people. And that's how I get a lot of our news. I mean, we are subscribed to things like LexisNexis, and I get alerts for any kind of legislation. But, I mean, as far as, like, cities and counties and things like that, it's a lot of word of mouth, or you just hear it from somebody, and then you alert everybody and it just spreads out like wildfire.
All right, so you get calls from state legislators, you get calls from different caucuses. Is that the way it works, or is it
sometimes?
County judges?
No, we don't talk to county judges. I try to stay out of that realm. We have a lobbyist in D.C., and then we also have one in California. But a lot of our members, like committees and things like that, they are on top of what's happening in, like, say, Denver, Colorado. They are on top of what's happening in Denver and Colorado as far as the state goes. So, I mean, we have people, and like you said, my family's been around in the PRCA for quite a while, so we know a lot of people. My family does, so it's just reaching out.
All right. So, okay, now, most recently, we're not talking about rodeo stuff right now, but most recently, I know there was legislation passed. It really wasn't that recent. It's a couple of years ago when they passed that deal about introducing wolves into Colorado. Yeah, did you get to go play against that?
Well, that was Colorado is a ballot initiative state, and that got put on the ballot, and the people of Colorado voted it in, which honestly, when you get right down to it, 7 counties voted against the other however many counties in Colorado, and it got voted in. But the real nice thing about that, when I say nice, I'm being sarcastic, the nice thing about that is they voted to introduce wolves in to other people's counties, not their own.
Right.
And the state has been holding I don't even know if you know what you call them, but they're not committee meetings, but they've been holding stakeholder meetings, I guess is what they are calling them, about the introduction of them. And they have not introduced them yet, and I think they're getting ready to. But I honestly was not in on any of those meetings. I've been in on some other stuff in Colorado that we got shot down, but that got put on the ballot and the people voted it in.
Okay. All right. Does anybody in Colorado ever try to change y'all's, I guess you call it your state constitution, the way they do the laws on initiatives? Do they ever try to change that?
Oh yeah, we had one We had one introduced a year and a half ago that would have made it, I think they call it Rose's Law. I could be mistaken on that, but it was going to go before the state people on a ballot initiative, and what it would have done, it would have made it illegal to slaughter any food animal until they had lived 25% of their life. And it had a couple other things in it. In Colorado, we have it where you can only have one item. You can only vote on one thing at a time on any ballot initiative. And we partnered with, and Farm Bureau did all the heavy lifting.
Okay.
So we partnered with Farm Bureau, the livestock associations in Colorado, and this is even one that the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and RCAF worked together on, amazingly enough. But we got it shut down. They sued, and it was going on the ballot, and the Farm Bureau led the charge and sued and got it thrown out in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So we got that stopped.
All right. But my question is, has anyone ever tried in the legislature to change the initiative practice, the process, the way Colorado and California and some of these states pass laws by initiative, and it winds up, generally it winds up to the detriment. You have to do like what you're saying. State Farm had to sue in the Supreme Court to stop it. But, it's the process that I'm looking at that I'm saying, has anyone ever tried to change that process?
As far as I know, they have not. But I'm just going to give you my personal point of view on this.
Okay.
I think it would be bad if we got rid of it in Colorado, because right now the Colorado legislature is just about like the California legislature. It is a super majority of the Democrats, and most all of them are from the urban areas, the Front Range, over by Aspen, down in southeast Colorado or southwest Colorado, over by Ignacio and Cortez, and in there, and they've got us outvoted so bad. And we, like right now, it was through a ballot initiative called TABOR, and it's the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, and the legislature cannot keep us over a certain amount of our income taxes. If they overtaxed us, they have to give it back by Constitution.
Okay.
And if they have tried for the last 4 or 5 cycles to get the people to give them the power to keep that TABOR money, and amazingly enough, the people in Colorado have voted them down every time, and there's another one on the ballot this November. So I personally don't mind it.
Okay, all right.
You have to put up with some bad stuff too, but
all right. Let me let's take a quick break. Thank folks who let us come on here every Saturday morning. We'll be right back. Thank goodness for all the great sponsors we have here at News from the Camp House. HEB Food Stores. That's Stephen Tice at HEB. He helps me. He helps the community. He's a great man. I'm so thankful HEB loosened him up, lets him go around and sponsor a few things. HEB's got all your food needs. It's the greatest food store we got here in Columbus. Thank goodness for HEB. First State Bank. You go over to the First State Bank, they'll take care of all your loans, all your deposits, your savings, anything you need. Bunch of great hometown people over there. You got Celia Tobias, John Pollock. Everybody over there is looking out for you. Miss Barbara Barta. It's a great bunch of folks at the First State Bank is also sponsoring News from the Camp House. First State Bank takes care of all my business. Baumgart Agency, Susan Baumgart at the Baumgart Agencies, her and Germania. She told me to plug Germania. Germania is an insurance that she likes everybody to know about. The Baumgart Agencies. Miss Susan and I are classmates, been classmates. She got me out of high school, sat right beside her, put us in alphabetical order where I could copy. And Susan Baumgart over at the Baumgart Agency, taking care of all your insurance needs. Lyco Realty Lyco Realty, one of the original sponsors of News from the Camp House. Lyco Realty, the oldest real estate company in the county, and for the last 3 years voted the favorite realtor in the county. Lyco Realty, that's Miss Kimberly Johnson. That's Crockett's granddaughter. More kinfolks and classmates and great people from Colorado County. People from Colorado County helping people from Colorado County. That's great. Oh, thank goodness for all these wonderful people come to me want to be sponsors for News from the Camp House. Good morning and welcome to the second half of this week's News from the Camp House, listening post to the Texas Sportsman Association. We're here this morning with Scott Dorenkamp. He is the PRCA's Intergovernmental Affairs guy up in Colorado Springs, up there in the PRCA headquarters in Colorado Springs. And anytime there's an animal rights thing coming up or agriculture thing, hunting, fishing, anything, Scott's the man in charge to take care of that. Dorenkamp is an old rodeo name. I know I went to some of their rodeos ages ago. Okay, but no, Scott, you just gave me a really good rendition of why these initiatives work for y'all. Of course, it's not done that way in Texas. Everything here is, we were a republic before we were a state. So everything here was, everything here is done through the legislature. And there's a much bigger process to change game laws than just putting them out there for the public. And of course, what you just told us about was that when they overtax you, they have to give you that money back. And that's something that we're facing here right now. We're facing property taxes. For the last couple of cycles, our legislature has run a surplus. And when you go in and talk to the state agencies, they're just slobbering at the bit, waiting for the legislative session, because they all want to go in there and try to get a piece of that surplus money. Meanwhile, taxpayers are sitting out here going, wait a minute, why can't we have that back? Yeah, our budget grew $70 billion last session, and somebody got to throw the brakes on this business. And it's getting way out of hand. They're starting to talk about, we've got an Austin swamp. And just like they talk about the swamp in D.C., now they're talking about the swamp in Austin. So we're looking for the brake pedal on this thing right now. All right, but let's get back to your business here, because I think what my listeners would like to hear about is how you battle animal rights activists when it comes to rodeo. And tell me about the Los Angeles deal.
Well, one of the things that, and it doesn't matter if it's hunting or rodeo or whatever, the animal rights activists always have some kind of a quote, and I have found that and when I say quote, I mean they've got some kind of a statistic or a video or something like that, and the only thing you can really battle them with is facts and actual facts. I'm the guy that keeps all of the statistics for the whole entire U.S. I mean, we keep track of every single out as far as bucking horses or time to milk cattle and things like that. And I keep track of all the injuries, and you have to show them the facts. And one of their things is, they're always, the animal rights people are saying that, why should we trust your statistics? You guys are not giving all the statistics, and it's like, well, it goes exactly in reverse. And one of the things in LA, that's one of the things in LA, is they've been saying that the rodeo veterinarians are lying when they are not reporting. I shouldn't say lying. They're not reporting all the injuries like they are required to by law to the California State Vet Board. And one of the things you have to bring back up to the LA City Council members is, okay, they've showed you 4 or 5 videos of an animal being hurt, but how many videos did they show you of animals that weren't hurt? And they just look at you dumbfounded when you ask them that. And one of the things just yesterday, the people, when I say they, I'm talking about the people who are in the city.
Okay.
One of the things they just came out with yesterday is during the PBR for the last 3 years, and they have one in Crypto Arena, which is where the Lakers play, that crime rises every time they have a PBR.
Huh.
Well, why? Here is my question. Why should I, if you guys say you can't trust my statistics, why should I trust yours?
Yeah.
And you literally have to bring things up like that when you talk to these people, because they literally, I keep saying the word literally, but they do not know what they're even going to try to regulate. It started out as an equipment ban, and now it's just went to a straight out rodeo ban, because they figured out if they banned the equipment they were wanting to, they weren't going to be able to have the equestrian part of the Olympics in 2028 in the city of LA.
Okay. Well, anytime you get a crowd together, it sounds like the deal about crime going up. That sounds like manipulating numbers. Anytime you get a crowd together, I don't care if it's a PBR, if it's a basketball game, football game, whatever it is.
Right.
Anytime you're going to have a crowd get together, it's different than it is day to day. I don't quite understand that. A person would have to dig into those numbers a whole lot more. There's no reason. That sounds completely unreasonable.
Right.
In fact, it seems like just the opposite. It seems like when there's a bunch of cowboys around, most people going to behave a little better.
Yeah, we live in a complete different world than what we live in. I taught school for 20 years, and people complain about the millennials, the generation, about them whining and crying. It didn't surprise me a bit once they grew up to be in their mid-30s. Not a bit. If you taught, you could see it coming.
Really?
But you're dealing the generations you're dealing with. They have been told, and this goes for politicians, and I don't care how old they are. There's a group of people that have been told they are right and have never been told no. And when you tell them no, it's like you slap them in the face.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. I believe that 100%. Yeah, I've run into people. Yeah, I had someone ask me, my listeners kind of get tired of me talking about it, but yeah, I've run into people that straight out ask me, why don't you listen to NPR? And hell no, I don't listen to NPR. That's the bottom of the barrel when, they're absolutely a propaganda machine. I don't listen to them for news at all. And that's the millennials listen to NPR. I hate to downplay PBS, but I have kind of grew up on PBS a little bit, but in trying to do business with them, I had to just back away and go, these people they're not looking for journalists. They're just looking for someone. They straight out told me when I took a video project to them, they straight out told me that, it would take an army of editors to get the message right on what I was trying to do. And I said, no, all you do is show what the truth is. And they just, no. And so I had to back out on PBS. And it's okay. So here's the deal. So you wind up with this mess going on. How does this financed? Does PRCA have to pay attorneys to go fight?
Well, there is a coalition. There's over 40 members right now fighting this. It includes the PBR, the PRCA, the Charros in California, the Bill Pickett Rodeo Association, AQHA, a bunch of different people are involved. The California professional rodeos or the California circuit rodeos are all involved, and it's expensive. This is going on. It will be 4 years. It will be starting starting its 4th year in December.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got lobbyists and attorneys involved, and it's a fight you have to fight.
Well, for their attorneys, it turns into a cash cow. They're just bleeding the system. They're going to ride that as long as they can ride it. So that's something I also point out to my listeners. If we could get rid of all the distractions and all the cash cow controversies in this world and just go down to just take care of business, we'd be way, 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 way far ahead in this world. Be a whole lot cleaner world.
Well, and I agree on that. And one of the things that when I was talking about a while ago about telling people no, people, and maybe it's because our country is good enough that people have so much spare time on their hands, even though they don't think they do, but they've got enough spare time that they don't mind their own business.
Well, yeah.
Like, say, just rodeo or hunting or anything like that. If you've got somebody who doesn't like it, they think now that since they don't like it, it ought to be against the law.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, that is we're getting short on time, but that is one of the big things. One of the big things. Okay, I'm a Texas Outdoor Writer Association director. One of the things that we have stepped up to the plate with is promoting and advocating the North American wildlife conservation model. That is something that's been in place for 100 years. It's been the law since 1937, and people are not aware of it, and it's something that should be taught in school. And it's all, this is the wildlife conservation model that has sustained us for 85 years. And if people are cognizant of how the world works, as dumb as people are, I still think that if you give good people good information, they can make good decisions. And there is not teaching people this model of wildlife conservation has created an ignorant society. But I ain't sure that's not what the other side wants.
Oh yeah, I know it is. I taught, and I had to go through teachers' meetings and things like that before the school year started. It's when you get right down to it, it is socialism and communism at its base. They want control. And they've started with our kids.
All right. Well, we're fighting it now. Let's.
Yes, sir.
I guess it's job security.
Well, you don't have a choice. You have to. There's nowhere else to go.
Yes, sir. Scott, I appreciate you being with us this morning.
You bet. It's my pleasure.
And my friends from Virginia will be getting in touch if they haven't already reached out.
That would be great.
And try to get more of this out in front of everybody. So, Scott, appreciate you being with us this morning.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, don't hang up. Folks, okay. I hope y'all learned something this morning, got a little bit out of this interview, and go out and have a good weekend. This weekend's edition was also brought to us by the Shaw Bend Social Club, country club for folks who don't have a country club. All right, guys, go have a great weekend, and y'all just remember, pretty much any day is sure a good day to be out in the woods.